Hey everyone, Alvin here. I'm currently at Singapore's Changi Airport, and today I'll be flying on Singapore Airlines on their Airbus A350 from Singapore to Seattle in business class. A few months ago, we had a short half-day layover in Singapore while on our way home to Vancouver after traveling in Asia for a few weeks. We stayed at the Westin Singapore, a really nice property within the downtown core. We spent some time walking along the boardwalk, satisfying our Asian food craving at the Lau Pa Sat Hawker Center, and taking a quick dip in the pool during the evening. We woke up early the next day and arrived at Changi Airport before 6 a.m. for our 9 a.m. flight to Seattle. Terminal 3's departure hall was still pretty quiet when we got there. We're here now at the Singapore Airlines check-in area, so let's go get checked in and kick off this flight. After a quick and simple check-in process, we made our way through immigration. At Changi Airport, security screening is done separately at the gates. Once we were airside, we headed to the KrisFlyer Business Class Lounge. Even though it was a large lounge, it was pretty busy. Many of the desirable seats were already taken. Luckily, we found some private pod seats directly across from each other, tucked away in one of the corners of the lounge. Other seating options include high top seating, armchairs, as well as some dining tables near the buffet spread. Some areas of the lounge have tall windows with a view of some airport activity, partially obstructed by these sunshades. There were a lot of food options at this lounge, including a variety of dim sum, laksa noodles and Japanese udon, fruits, pastries, and a selection of other hot items. As for drinks, there are plenty of soft drinks, fruit-infused water, coffee machines, and a bar to serve you alcoholic beverages and cocktails. As I didn't want to be too full and ruin my appetite for the meal on board, I only got myself a laksa noodle and a cappuccino. The laksa was really good. I was so tempted to get another one, but I resisted. About an hour before boarding, we started making our way towards the gate since our gate was pretty far away at T1, which meant we had to take the terminal SkyTrain, and also because we knew there would be a queue for security at the gate itself. The SkyTrain is a convenient way to move between the terminals, running every few minutes. Once we arrived at our departure gate C20, there was already a queue forming for the security screening. I was surprised to discover that there were no washrooms available once you entered the stairwell waiting area. Personally, I have a pretty small bladder, so I always like to use the washroom right before boarding, but in this case that was not possible. Fortunately, boarding actually began slightly earlier, so I didn't have to hold it for too long. Anyway, here is the aircraft taking us all the way to Seattle. 9 Victor Sierra Juliet Charlie, a 1.5-year-old Airbus A350-900.
Dear listeners, welcome to Europe. Down the beautiful app and sign up to enjoy exclusive trips including a welcome birthday coupons.
My seat for the flight was 16A, a window seat in the second last row of the forward business class cabin. Business class on Singapore's Airbus A350 is configured in a 1-2-1 seating layout, split across two cabins. I loved how spacious it felt due to the lack of overhead bins in the middle. The seats are finished with a mix of beige and brown, with a leather and a deep purple, giving it a warm and classy atmosphere. As I settled into my seat, I was offered a choice between orange or apple juice for the pre-departure beverage. I chose the apple. Let's have a look at the seat features. Directly in front of you is an 18-inch screen that surprisingly wasn't touchscreen. You can tilt it down slightly to make it easier to watch while lounging. You'll find a coat hook towards the outside of the seat. On the other side of the screen, you'll find a small storage compartment with a sliding door, good for items you want to keep out of sight or prevent from rolling around. Below that is a drink tray, and beside that is a vanity mirror. Here's where the footrest is. It's at a bit of an awkward angle, so when you're lounging or sleeping, you'll have to do it diagonally. It's also not very wide, so it could get uncomfortable on longer flights. The literature pocket is found on the edge of the side table, consisting of the menu, safety card, Wi-Fi guide, duty-free shopping, and sickness bags. Here's the side table, which is relatively small compared to some other business class seats. You'll find the iFi controller here, which you have to use to control the screen. You'll find the noise-canceling headphones here and a water bottle in this narrow but deep storage bin. The tray table can be deployed by simply lifting up on this flap and swinging it out. It offers a decent surface area and can be rotated 90 degrees. At the back, you'll find a storage cubby for things like books, literature, or the menu. A reading light is available with various brightness settings. The headphone jack is located in the upper corner here. A universal power outlet, a USB charging port, as well as other media ports are available here as well. The seat itself is quite wide, wider than most other business class seats. Singapore offers this pillow to provide some lumbar support. The headrest is as wide as the length of the seat, but it doesn't fold in for neck support. Another set of seat lights are found here, with various angles depending on your lounging position. Seat controls are found underneath the outer armrest, allowing you to control things like turning the screen on and off, ambient lighting, seat and leg rest position, as well as crew call and do not disturb sign. Another headphone jack is available here. You can also control the overhead lighting with this button up here. Once the L2 jet bridge was retracted, I was able to get a good look at the engine view. A wet towel was handed out by the crew. The crew also came around to confirm my book the cook meal order at this point. Our flight today will take over 13 hours, taking off from Singapore, flying northeast across the South China Sea, flying over Taiwan and Japan, before flying over the Bering Sea and crossing into Alaska, and then arriving into Seattle having traveled over 13,000 kilometers. To make up for the lack of a touchscreen, the iFi was actually quite good. The UI was intuitive, it was responsive, and there was a diverse suite of entertainment options that should cater to many audiences. We had a long taxi for takeoff, taxiing to the easternmost runway for a departure on 02 right.
To Seattle is going to be 10, they call that 14 hours. You'll be taking off towards the north out of Singapore. General direction is going to be a northeasterly direction. Should be climbing up to a height of 35,000 feet initially. Weather en route expected to be fair. A bit of clear turbulence along the way, so for your safety, I'd like to advise you to keep your seatbelts fastened whenever you're seated. Weather forecast for the time of arrival into Seattle is reported to be fair. Just before we start our descent, I'll come back to you with the latest arrival information.
After takeoff, I connected my phone to Singapore's complimentary Wi-Fi, offered to suites, first class and business class passengers, or if you're a KrisFlyer member. It was pretty fast too. The crew delivered my after takeoff beverage, a pineapple juice. Before the meal service got underway, I took some time to visit the lavatories. It was a pretty standard offering and size, with amenities including dental kit and comb, as well as facial mist, hand lotion, and perfume by Penhaligon's. Hand towels are also provided, which is a nice touch compared to the usual towels that always rip when you try to take one with wet hands. I also appreciated the foot pedal controlled waist flap. Amenity kits and slippers are available by request. The amenity kit is provided by Penhaligon's, a London brand. The contents are pretty minimal, including a hand lotion, facial mist, and lip balm. The slippers are quite plush and comfortable. Trying out this leg rest situation, I can see how it might get a bit awkward or tiring after a long flight having to sit diagonally. Note that the bulkhead seat in this cabin does not have the same issue, so if you ever get a chance to choose the bulkhead, do it. Here's the noise cancelling headphones. They were quite comfortable and I had no issues with them throughout the flight. When not in use, you can hang them over the reading lamp like so. Let's check out the menu prior to the meal service. Note that the menu only contains the in-flight options. Singapore Airlines offers a book the cook service where you can choose from a longer list of more exclusive meals only available if you pre-order, which is what I did in this case. Kicking off the meal service was the marinated smoked salmon with capers, which was very refreshing. I particularly liked the garlic bread which the crew offered. For my drink, I had the Royal Sparkle non-alcoholic mocktail. For my main, I had the Soon Hang Bak Chor Mee noodle soup, a book the cook option. I personally really enjoy noodle soups in general, so this meal was right up my alley. Chili oil is provided on the side as well. I used up all of it. dessert consisted of a banana cheesecake with butter crumble as well as a fruit platter, both of which were delicious. As usual, I ordered some caffeine as well in the form of a cappuccino. After the meal, the flight attendant offered to help me set up my lie flat bed. With these Singapore seats, you can't just simply recline it all the way into a flatbed. You have to physically get up and fold it down to make it flat. While not as convenient, it does make it feel more like an actual bed, especially once the mattress pad and bedding is added on. I liked how there were so many pillows provided as well. It made the lounging a lot more comfortable. For the remainder of the flight, I just kept it in this position and lounged on it, even for meal service. As the sun set on the horizon, I put on a classic Harry Potter film and ordered myself a Milo and honey ginger tea along with some cookies. After a few hours, the cabin lights came on to start serving the second meal. I thought the timing was a bit odd, as it was still only halfway throughout the flight, and there was still almost 7 hours to go. Many passengers were still sleeping at this point, and personally I wasn't very hungry yet after the first meal. Nevertheless, the meal service got underway. A canapé was served prior to the appetizer and consisted of chicken satay skewers, which were extremely delicious. For the appetizer, I was served prawns with lemon-scented oil and salad with yuzu, soy, and sesame dressing, which was very refreshing. Assorted bread was provided as well. I got myself a bread roll and a garlic bread. For my drink, I ordered an apple bliss. For some reason, all the mocktails on this flight had some variation of using apple as an ingredient, which I didn't mind at all. The main course was another book the cook option, the famous lobster thermidor. There's something special about being able to have this dish on a plane. For dessert, I ordered myself the floating island Île Flottante, an egg white dome served with almonds and vanilla sauce. This paired really nicely with a coffee. After the meal, I put on another movie while sipping on some hot oolong tea. At this point, we were about 5.5 hours away from Seattle. With a few hours left to go in the flight, I was feeling a bit peckish. After glancing at the menu again, I was very curious about the Singapore carrot cake, so I found myself ordering that. It's a savory radish rice flour cake with prawns and pickled turnip, and some hot sauce on top. It was actually very tasty. I had a fruit platter on the side and a midsummer breeze mocktail. After a beautiful sunrise, it was time to descend into Seattle. There was a lot of broken clouds covering the city, making for quite a scenic approach.
Feel like falling deeper. Cold nights 난 너무 싫어. 기다리기에는 너무 길어. 줬던 내 사랑이 식어. 기대만 하는 것도 난 힘들어. No, I can't, just can't. 가져 내 맘을. 너마저 내 가슴을 다 바쳐 사랑하기엔 내 자신이 너무 걱정돼 바보 같은 생각이야 알아 멍청해 상상만으로도 좋은 상상만으로도 힘든 이중적인 면을 가지고 있어 사랑이라는 거 oh yeah. Baby can't you come with me can't you hold my hand and leave 근데 있잖아 너라면 다를까 생각이 들어 해볼까 말까 내 다리가 걸어가는 방향이 어딘지 서로 궁금해져 버려 애써 맘 졸여 하늘만 보면서 언제쯤 알게 될까 너도 나와 같은 생각을 하고 있을까 한참을 멍하니 보다 보니 살짝 어두워진 색깔 불그스름 안 노을의 대가
Unsurprisingly, this was a fantastic flight with Singapore Airlines on their Airbus A350. The crew showed amazing hospitality and were attentive throughout the flight. The food was top-notch, especially the lobster and the chicken satay skewers. I love the ability to pre-order more exclusive meals with the book the cook option. The timing of the second meal was a bit weird though. I'm not sure if that's something specific with this route. As for the hard product, I love the spaciousness of the seat, especially the width, which is one of the best in the industry. I did find the location of the footrest a bit awkward, forcing you to angle your body while lounging or sleeping, which could get uncomfortable for a long flight. Also, I wish their TV screen was actually touchscreen. It would make interacting with the IFE a lot easier. Finally, I love that they provided free, fast Wi-Fi. And with that, it's time to wrap up another trip report. I hope you enjoyed my review of Singapore Airlines A350 Business Class. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, happy travels, and I'll see you in the next one.